Wow, that's great. As sir, as you um, had that experience as a cadet and as you moved forward toward college and that sort of thing, how did your experience in Civil Air Patrol influence your calling as a clergyman?
Well, I think, my love of aviation really fueled my decision out of high school to go into the Air Force.
Hmm.
And that whole love of aviation was quite frankly nurtured by the Civil Air Patrol. And so going from being, and nothing against the Boy Scouts, it's an extraordinarily wonderful organization. But for me, having the aviation focus as a teenager in high school, and then naturally being attracted to the Air Force and being around the Air Force for a few years and working F-15 maintenance. And quite frankly, I enlisted in the Air Force simply for the education benefits. I was going to get my money and run and do something worthwhile. And anyway, I fell in love with the Air Force. And
Mm.
quite frankly, I was around a lot of pilots when I was a young airman. I was in a Bible study with fighter pilots, and these guys all nurtured me and said, "Hey, Steve, if we can do this, you can do this." And so again, my love of aviation is kind of the theme here. And so with that, I got out after 4 years, fully believing I was going to come back into the Air Force as a pilot. By then, I had my pilot's license, and I was, I had a couple hundred hours flying time, and was in love more than ever with the idea of flying. And so went to college and began chasing a young lady around, and this young lady told me she was going to a missions conference, and I said I like missions, and really what I liked most of all was her, and going to a missions conference was a reason to be with her. And anyway, long story not so long, last day of a 3-day missions conference, a guy by the name of Billy Graham was speaking, and the Holy Spirit struck my heart at that point. And after a couple of weeks of cries and tears, because I had already been awarded in ROTC a pilot slot, I was on my way to become a pilot for the Air Force. That conference God used to change my heart and direct me toward ministry. And oh, by the way, that young lady is my wife of 38 years, and so it worked out pretty good that way too.
Wow.